Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kay, and on this channel I talk about getting back on track with my finances, my health, and everything in between. So today I'm going to share with you a letter I got from Student Loan Company. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with Student Loan Company, it is it's a governmental body that was set up to help provide the finances for students in the UK to go to university. And so how it works is currently is that when students, by the time they finish their A levels, so around about 18, or in the process of finishing their A levels, they would apply for their student to the student loan company and for funding. And so in the UK, tuition fees right now is 9,000 something pound, and the student loan company is able to it provides all students who've been accepted. This is UK students who have been accepted to go to university. They are provided with a student loan for their tuition as well as a maintenance loan. The maintenance loan, so the tuition loan covers the tuition each year, and that is automatic. If you are a UK resident, eligible UK resident, or a British citizen, you will be able to get that. The maintenance loan, on the other hand, is what they call it's means tested, and it's based on your parents' income or your income if you don't have any parents, or you haven't been living with any parents for a while, or your parents is abroad. And again, so that figure would vary based on that. So the maintenance loan is supposed to help with the living costs for students when they go off to universities, such as the rent and possibly their food. Again, it depends on their situation. So I went to university I finished university in 2007, and then 2 years later I cleared my 16,000 student loan. So you can understand how distressing it is to receive a letter from the student loan, because there's like a million thoughts that like bombard my mind as I read through the letter. I'm gonna just paraphrase some bit and read through a bit so that you can understand where I'm coming from. So it starts off by having this big old title: important, you need to confirm your details. Then it goes on that we believe that details we hold for you may be out of date. We need to maintain an up-to-date details for you to administer your account correctly. All right, then I'll go down to the bottom, and it goes on to say, if you don't update your details, we may not be able to contact you if necessary, which means your repayment amount may be higher than it should be, or you could be charged a higher rate of interest. So as I read this, just a reminder, I paid off by 2009/10. I had paid off my student loan. So to get a letter like that, I was especially during the time where I said I'm gonna buckle down and try to save as much money as I can, see where I can cut, so that I will be able to, top up my pension. Well, not even top up, but make a lot more contribution to my pension in order for my retirement pot to be at a level which it could maintain me during retirement. And so to get a letter like this, it was, initially it was very distressing, and then I started to think about how, first of all, I did not give them my new, well, first, I paid off my student loan over 10 years ago. Secondly, how did they get my address? Because I've moved 4 times since I paid off my student loan. And and then I started thinking, did I not finish paying them off? I'm sure I paid them off. And started to think, okay, what evidence do I have? I probably need to get some evidence to show that I did clear my student loan and all that. And then when I thought about, okay, let me think if I if I would have any evidence of that. And then I was like, okay, my bank statements, my online bank statements don't go back so far. It goes back, I think, 7 years. So there's no way I could prove that, you know, payments were made. And just to let you know, in order for me to have paid off my student loan so quickly, I had to, so student loan, if I just backtrack to give you an understanding. So when you graduate, and in the UK we normally have our graduation, yeah, June, July, and some universities October. But for the summer in which you've stopped going to university and you've done your finals and everything, and you know what grades you are, it doesn't matter when your graduation takes place. So that's that summer, from that summer until the end of the tax year, which for us is April the 5th. So that would be April the 5th in the next year. We have this, what you call a freedom. It's a period where we don't have to start making contribution to repay or start repaying our student loan. And then after that point, by the time it hits the 6th of April, so the new tax year, if you are employed with a company and you're getting paid through what they call PAYE, then you're, and also if you meet the income criteria, that threshold, that based on your plan, and I say based on your plan because there are several, probably 4 loan plans currently now in the UK, and the plans are based on when you did your undergraduate. There's a postgraduate plan as well, so it just depends on the time you went to university and started to access those loans. But so it depends on that threshold. So for example, if my plan stated that as soon as I start making 25,000, well, above 25,000, I will be eligible to, I would need to start paying back something towards my student loan. So if I made 30,000, then the amount of student loan that I would be paying would be based on the difference between 25 and 30. So it's just 5,000, right? So that would be just 5,000. The calculation would be done on, and I think currently now it probably is, and again it depends on your plan. It may be about 9% of that difference um, is actually what you need to pay back each year, and that would be split over the 12 months period. And so your employers would have started to deduct that amount every month. So you can see that it's not a lot of money each month to be deducted. And the good thing about the loan, the student loan in the UK system, is that currently it does not um, affect your credit, in the sense that they are not using it. Unlike, again, other countries, your student loan will affect your credit and how much you are able to get. Anyway, so so I've kind of lost track of what I was saying, but one, two, three. So so my repayment, and the reason why I said that, okay, my statement could prove some things, is because I would have been paying the minimum amount through my employer, and then I would be topping up. I used to top up a lot, just throw at it as much as I could. So it was actually under a year. In a year, I actually paid it off. Um, and at the end, I had felt that they had owed me a little bit, because I didn't want to shortchange them. So when I did my little calc, I thought they should be reimbursing me some money. So after a year finishing making payments, and they said yes, payments done, and I've stopped getting deductions from my salary each month. So that for me had confirmed that, okay, I did actually pay them off. But at the time, I still felt that I had overpaid a little bit, maybe just 50, 60 pound overpayment or something like that. And I'd expect them to actually, reimburse me that amount, but it never did happen. Years later, I never got that reimbursement, so I figured, okay, maybe I did actually make the exact payment. And so I left that. So now when I got this letter, it was, okay, did I actually pay them off, or do I still owe them? And I started getting a bit anxious, because here I don't want to be owing anybody right now, because my focus has shifted. It's been, and then all the thing about not having evidence to prove that I did actually pay. I had none of that. I didn't even know how to access my student loan account anymore. I mean, for all I knew, that account is shut down. As soon as you pay, just like a bank loan, if you took out, it closes. You can't even get any statements from them anymore, and so forth. So I was quite anxious, and yeah, a bit disturbed. But and then I started to think, this must be a breach of data protection for them to, or this must be probably serious for them to search me. I've changed 4 addresses. So for you to have got my address to be able to send me this letter meant that there was some kind of like research work going on in order to reach me. And so the day I got the letter, it was a Saturday, so I couldn't call in, or I think the time had passed by the time I got that letter, so they weren't open. I tried to call them the following week, but I couldn't reach them, and so I submitted a long email and this detailing, um, you know, what happened and what the situation was, and for them to get back to me and so forth. So again, they say, oh, I think it's 5 days, we'll respond to you in 5 days or something, but then due to COVID situation that was happening, that is happening, there is always some delay. So I couldn't wait. I was still thinking, you know, I hope it comes back as, you know, I don't want, I don't owe them, or I didn't short, you know. And I was really hoping that, they'll just respond to me so that I could settle everything, put that aside and everything. And so they didn't get back to me, and I waited. And so I shared this email, and I'm still waiting. I will I'll do another part of it on their response. But for me, it was there's a lot of thing that the situation was a bit I don't want to say stressful, but I do think it disturbing for me, especially yeah, the mere fact they were able to get my details and everything, and like my address, and then I started to think about issues that we've had in the UK, like immigration issues, where for example, the Windrush generation, how the Home Office lost all the paperwork for these people, and so they you know they were in a situation where their um, their right to stay in the country was at stake or was being questioned, and it's all because of some paperwork. And I remember when I was doing A levels, back in 2000, yeah, you there was always this push to go to paperless society, and everybody was gonna expect it, it's coming, and so forth. That was back in early 2000. Now we're 21 years on, and we haven't reached a cashless or paperless society yet. And I say this for a number of reasons, and it's to do with the fact that if you want to apply for a mortgage, they are going to ask you for proof of address, proof of income. So, and a lot of time, so you have to go supply some payslip, some bank statements, some utility bills, and they want them to be original. And so for some lenders, they would say, if you downloaded your online, so if you only had online banking, they would refuse those statements that you could just log onto your account and print. They would refuse those and ask you to go get an official copy of those statements. For some banks, they will charge you for it, and for others, what they will send you is kind of like a copy of it, but it won't look in the same form. But again, they state that it's suitable for this sort of purposes. So I think for me, the lesson learned for me in this situation is that I do need to keep paper record, even beyond my norm. My norm is to keep them for 7 years, because that's what I thought, and I did keep those documents for 7 years. But since 7 years had passed since I made payment, I just shredded them to make room for more documents. So definitely, the lesson takeaway for me on this is that I need to keep my paper copies, or copies, whether I scan them on my cloud-based storage system or my external drive. I do need to keep copies of any payments that I've cleared, just in case at a later date, you know, I have a situation like the Windrush thing coming, where a company is questioning whether or not I have made full payment. And so, guys, let me know your thoughts. What do you think a student loan company would want to do with me? Why do you think? If you have any idea, if you've had any experience of this, let me know in the comment. Or if you just have experience of where you've cleared certain things like a loan or something, and it came back years later um, to haunt you, or not necessarily haunt you, where you were put in a position where you then had to prove that you had cleared something. So let me know, and see you again in the next one.